today's webinar topic. Yes, you're correct. Today we have gathered here to know more about a very popular social networking platform, that is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social networking website designed for business professionals, and it allows you to share work-related information with other users and keep an online list of professional contacts. Though we are familiar, most of us don't know how it actually works or how to maintain a good LinkedIn profile and what are its advantages. To know more about the advanced features and utilities of LinkedIn, ISTE GECBH Students Chapter, in association with ICA GECBH, presents to you a webinar on LinkedIn profile development and benefits. The session is going to be handled by Mr. Udish Udaykumar. He is the LinkedIn local Kerala Kochi volunteer, first student in India, and among the youngest in the world to be Google Cloud Certified Professional Cloud Architect. He is also the Microsoft Learn Student Partner and also the Google Crowdsource Influencer. On behalf of all of us present here, I heartily welcome Mr. Udish to this session. Over to him.
Thank you, Harishri, for inviting me, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here interacting with you and sharing with you about LinkedIn. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, sure. So basically, ഞാൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷും മലയാളവും കൂടെ കലർത്തി പറയാം എല്ലാവർക്കും മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന രീതിയിൽ. So ആദ്യം talking about myself, I am Udesh Udaykumar, final year computer science and engineering student at Muthoot Institute of Technology and Science in Kochi. നേരത്തെ ഹരിശ്രീ പറഞ്ഞത് I'm a multi-cloud, including Google Cloud, Azure, and Aviatrix. And recently, I just completed my Azure Data Fundamentals exam. Also, I am among the youngest in the world to be certified on Google Cloud as a professional cloud architect, and I am also certified as a Google Cloud Associate Cloud Engineer. And that's pretty much about my background. And about LinkedIn, I have been using LinkedIn for quite a while, and maybe more than a year. I have been using LinkedIn so much actively, and that was why that was one of the reasons why I could grow up to this level, because most of the opportunities I found to level up myself was through LinkedIn. About LinkedIn ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ തൊട്ടാണ് എനിക്ക് ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്തൊക്കെ ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് നമുക്കുണ്ട് എന്നുള്ളൊരു കാര്യം മനസ്സിലായത്. കാരണം ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ ഞാൻ അക്കൗണ്ട് ഒരു 2019 ടൈമിലാണ് ഞാൻ തുടങ്ങിയത്. അപ്പം അപ്പോഴൊന്നും ഞാൻ ലിങ്ക്ഡിനെ കുറിച്ച് കേട്ടിട്ട് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ, ഒരു കൗതുകത്തിന് തുടങ്ങിയതാണ്. അപ്പോ I was not, I didn't know how to use the platform. അതായിരുന്നു അപ്പോഴത്തെ പ്രശ്നം. So what I just tried was I just halted using LinkedIn for a while. So I didn't actually use LinkedIn since I created. And after a long time, when we were participating in a hackathon, me and 3 of my friends, we were participating in a national healthcare hackathon, and we finished as the finalist, the top 10 finalist of that competition all over India, and were the only team to be selected from Kerala. And that was quite a good achievement for me, and I thought maybe that would be the good start to boost my LinkedIn profile. So I started posting that news on LinkedIn, and obviously it didn't gain much traction because I hadn't used it before. So I just left it for a while, and during the April-May months of 2020, I started doing some courses online, and that was how I actually thought of getting back to LinkedIn and using it much more actively. So I started using it, and later on I found that many people, like to be precise, നമ്മുടെ പ്രായത്തിലും നമ്മളെക്കാൾ ഇളയവരും നമ്മളെക്കാൾ മൂത്തവരും ഒക്കെ they were achieving something and they were posting on LinkedIn, and I just asked myself this question: why can't I do this? So this question gave me the spark to use it much more, to identify some people who can help me throughout the journey to discover my talents and to improve it as much as possible. So that was how I actually thought of using my LinkedIn profile to boost my individual profile. So ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പൊ ഇന്ന് ഈ സെഷനിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കുന്നവരെല്ലാവരും പല ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ടിൽ നിന്നായിരിക്കും. You might be from engineering, you might be from non-engineering batches, or you might be from different branches of engineering. So everybody is the same on LinkedIn. You are all professionals. There is no discrimination, there is no difference. You are all professionals and you can just do anything professionally on that platform. So LinkedIn is basically some professional identity to you. So you might be using Facebook and it will be like a personal identity for you. If you just see your Facebook profile, it's just a personal identity. So when you come to LinkedIn, what you see there is how are you framed as a professional. So what you do as a professional is entirely put on LinkedIn. കുറച്ചും കൂടെ ചുരുക്കി പറയുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു ഓൺലൈൻ റെസ്യൂമെ എന്ന് വേണമെങ്കിലും പറയാം. അപ്പോൾ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ പ്രൊഫൈല് കണ്ട് people get interested on your profile, they visit your profile and they get interested, and slowly they will try to make connections with you if they want, and they might have something similar with us. They might be sharing some thoughts or maybe sharing some other parameters with us. Maybe ചിലപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഒരേ നാട്ടുകാരായിരിക്കാം, or maybe they might be the alumni of our college, or they might be working at our dream company. അപ്പം ഇതുപോലത്തെ പല സിറ്റുവേഷൻസും ഉണ്ട്. So basically that is actually the fundamental block for making connection request. അവിടെയാണ് ലിങ്ക്ഡിന്റെ യൂസ് മെയിൻ ആയിട്ട് വരുന്നത് while making connection request. അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ഞാൻ പറയാം. പക്ഷെ അതിന് മുമ്പായിട്ട് ഇവിടെ വരുന്ന ഈ സെഷനിലുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ 4 കാറ്റഗറിയിൽ പെട്ടിട്ടുള്ളവരാണ് എന്ന് എനിക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. So one is who don't know what is LinkedIn. Second one is who knows LinkedIn but don't have an account. മൂന്നാമത്തത് you have a LinkedIn account and you don't use it. നാലാമത്തെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ you have an account and you use it but you are not sure if you are using it effectively. അപ്പൊ ഈ 4 ഗ്രൂപ്പിലുള്ളവർക്കും ഹെൽപ്ഫുൾ ആവുന്ന രീതിയിൽ തന്നെയായിരിക്കും ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് പറയാൻ പോകുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ. അപ്പോൾ you can just follow everything, like you can just follow these tips to make your profile much more better, and you can also build some real connections, some good connections which you can really depend on in the long term. So after speaking about LinkedIn, I will also show you my profile, and I will also walk you through my profile, and I will show you how you can also fill the entire LinkedIn profile to make it more optimized, because LinkedIn itself has some certain algorithms that will help you to boost your profile. So we just need to identify what that is. So starting with what is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional platform, as the host mentioned. It's a professional platform that helps you to be an identity in the industry. So whatever industry you are, irrespective of the background, you will be treated as a professional. And this is the why LinkedIn is so much important, because in the coming days, LinkedIn will be almost equivalent to an online resume, because people from different companies will start viewing your profile, and if they get impressed, they might even offer you some jobs. And me personally, I'm speaking from my personal experience. I have received 3 interview calls just from my LinkedIn profile. So if you can also use it wisely, it's a heights that you will also end up in somewhere at a good place. So this is actually the importance of LinkedIn. And the second point would be how to use it effectively. So there might be people who are new to LinkedIn. So they don't know how to use LinkedIn, and they're not familiar with the platform. So they're confused on what to post and what to do on that platform, and many lack confidence with speaking with others. So these things can be actually be overcome with LinkedIn. When you just go to a profile, you can just visit any profile on LinkedIn. You can visit, you can search for people if you want. You can, if you know somebody who's on LinkedIn, you can just search for their name and find their profile. You can send them a connection request, and you can just start talking to them if they accept it. So while you send a connection request, making connections is the important point. So when you make connections, always remember you're not treating them as an object. You're treating them as a person. So never ever ask them for a job for the very first time if you are messaging them. Never ever ask for a job. Because if you ask for a job at the very first time, they will feel that you are treating them like an object, which is something intolerable for most of the people. So probably what they're going to do is just ignore that message so that you won't get a reply, and you won't know the status of whether they have seen the message or not. So this can be avoided if you can build a connection with them and slowly start talking to them about your current situation, and they will slowly help you reach where you want to be. So while making a connection request, while you send a connection request, always make sure that you have a personalized invite. When you there is an option on LinkedIn to send a personalized connection. So there are some limitations to the number of words, sorry, the number of characters which you can use on that message, but use it wisely and effectively. Adding a personalized invite will stand out from the rest of the crowd because many people just click on send request. So if you do something different than that, rather than just clicking just send request, you can actually personalize the invite. Say, hey, I'm interested in machine learning. I want to learn more from you. And if you send this invite to a machine learning engineer working in the industry, almost 90% chance that he will accept the connection, and you can actually continue your conversation from there. So this is one point. Second point is coming up with meaningful post. You can come up with meaningful post on LinkedIn if you want to post anything thought provoking. If you have any provoking thoughts, or if you have any ideas, if you have done any projects, you can actually post them on LinkedIn, and that actually improves your visibility. So if your connections just like or comment on your post, it's a high chance that their connections will also see your post. So then amount of reach you're getting for that specific post will be very high. And also once you go through it, once you just go for some time, you will also start to gain followers, and by then you will automatically get some followers with the term of profile visits. People will start visiting your profile, and your profile will actually appear on search bar, and when people search for something, some kind of designation or some name which is related to yours, there is a high chance that your profile will pop up there, and your visibility will be increasing to a greater extent. So that is the second point. You have to make some meaningful post. And the third one is interacting with people on the platform. So that actually involves commenting on other people's post. So this commenting, what I mean by commenting is not don't just comment. It's good, nice. Don't just comment any one words. If you're commenting, make sure you're understanding the content, and you are trying to give out whatever is in your mind. So you don't really have to comment every post which you are seeing. You just need to comment whatever you find it resourceful. So you might come across a post where somebody says about the current education system, and you can actually comment your views on it. So this is something which you can do, and maybe that comment can actually grow into a conversation, and slowly you might get some connection request from that conversation with people who had that conversation. So this is something which you can try. And the fourth one is to fill your LinkedIn profile entirely. Make sure you have filled everything, and also at the same time, if you don't see anything which is actually needed for your profile, but you don't have to, you just try to make that content. For example, if you say you don't have a project to show on LinkedIn, make a project, build your skill. So you get two things as an advantage there. One thing is you can show your project on LinkedIn and you have a content to fill on that project section. Second thing is you're building a project, which means you're learning a skill and which you are improving an existing skill. So this actually is a win-win situation for you if you're trying to do it that way. So these are basically the 4 steps which you can follow to get an effective profile on LinkedIn. And now I will show you my profile and I'll walk you through my profile on how I have improved so far. So give me a minute, let me present my screen. Is my screen visible? Can somebody speak up?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my LinkedIn profile. So when you just look, I have a profile picture and I have actually removed a banner just a while back because I'm working on a new one. So this is actually an important part, the headline part. If you look at it, the person who sees the profile for the very first time gets impressed, should be impressed by this headline. If you want to impress somebody, make your headline the best. So the headline section actually involves your profile picture, a cover background, and your name, your titles, your current designations, your skills, your vision. So for me, I want to become a cloud architect. So currently I'm a cloud engineering intern. So I have actually mentioned that as my initial headline so that everybody, some companies or some people who are looking for cloud architect or cloud engineer can find my profile. And I'm also certified on multi-cloud, so I have also mentioned that because that is something which is quite an incredible achievement. So I have also mentioned that. And I also have a YouTube channel named The Cloud Pilot, which has contents on career interviews, about how to start a career in certain domain by different domain experts who are having more than 10 years of experience. I have actually posted an SD interview with an SDE at Amazon, and I have also posted a product manager at Microsoft interview on my channel, and it also holds some tutorials on Google Cloud Platform. So I am the creator of that channel, so I can also mention that. So in case if they come to see my YouTube channel, they might be impressed by the work I have done there. So there is a high chance that they can visit the profile. So if you're watching this session on YouTube, then you can find my links to my YouTube channel and the LinkedIn on the description. You can just visit, and if you want, you can subscribe to my channel for more updates. And this is the headline section, and you have to make sure that you fill everything. So you have to give your name, you have to fill the headline, you have to mention your place, and you have to mention where you are currently, you're most recently a part of, which organization you're a part of, and also the educational organization which you are currently pursuing your studies. And also, when you just add your profile picture, make sure that you follow certain guidelines when you add your profile picture. So you have to show both your shoulders when you're displaying your profile picture, and never try to add pictures like flowers or animals or trees or anything. Always try to post your pictures, and in the background try to make it less contrast than the profile picture so that the entire profile stands out. So try to bring up with a cover background which would be a bit darker so that your entire profile will stand out at the front. And now moving down, so this is my private dashboard, and you can also find the same on your profile. So if you just look at this all star is actually the rating where LinkedIn actually gives you for the amount of content you have given. So if you finish every recommended sections on LinkedIn, you will get an all-star badge. Always try to get an all-star badge. And it will also show how many people viewed my profile. And if you just open it, you can also see who all have visited and how many views your post had and how many times your profile just appeared when somebody started searching you. And one thing you have, if you need to compare, is that one person on LinkedIn is almost equal to 10 people on Instagram. So this is the ratio of engagement people are having. So if you get some post views above 5,000, it's actually very good. And then the next important section is the about section. And here you have to expand the headline which you have actually given. So if you just look into my about section, this is what I am in brief, what I can do, what I'm currently doing, and what I want to do. These are the three things which I have to consider while writing my about section. And now moving down, there is a featured section where you can actually put your most attractive post and other important documents or whatever content you see, you feel that it will impress the people who are visiting your profile. If you can add that, then it's a very good chance that they will be able to get impressed with your profile. So I have actually put my professional cloud architect certification and associate cloud engineering certification along with my YouTube channel. So this actually improves the amount of satisfaction other people would have when they visit my profile. And in the activity, you can see the amount of followers I have. I'm closing to 3,000. And if you just go with some, if you are going with a good regulated flow on LinkedIn, you will actually get followers. You will constantly gain followers. If you just look into my profile, I just had around 2,500 followers last month. So around 400 more than 400 followers had been received by my profile in just a month. And then comes the experience section where you can mention your professional experience. So if you're part of an internship, if you have done an internship, or if you have been a trainee, or if you're working at a company, you can mention that here. You can add your at the company, at the role, and also most importantly, list out what you have done in that certain opportunity. If you have worked as an intern, just say what you have done there and what was that project used for and what was the result. So if you try to answer in that format, there is a high chance that people will be actually, so that people will actually, so people will actually get impressed with what the content you are presenting. And then you can list all your experience section, and I have quite a lot of experience there. And then the second one is the education section where you can actually mention your most recent education. If you're just gone to college, you only have to mention your college. If you have gone for post-graduation studies, mention your undergraduation and post-graduation. Nobody cares about your schooling. So after, again, you have to keep in mind that you have to follow the same rules like what you consider when you are filling for the experience section. And then comes the license and certification. I have a quite a good amount of certifications. So this is actually my the certifications which I have got, and these are not course certificates; these are industrial certificates. So one thing which I have observed on LinkedIn is that many people have added course certificates on LinkedIn. These are actually just course certificates, and they don't prove that you know that thing. If you want a proof of you what you know, you have to build a project or get an industrial certification. So industrial certifications are given by the company itself. So if a company can certify you, then it's a good indication that you know the thing. Or if there is no certification by the company, build a project to demonstrate your skill. Again, going down, there is a volunteer experience section where you can actually give your experiences as a volunteer. So this section actually deals with your soft skills. So this actually provides you the opportunities where you can develop your soft skills and make you into a much more organized and better individual. So you can add whatever volunteering activities you have done, and it's better to fill just 3 experiences to keep the content more crisp and precise. And then there is a skills and endorsement section where you can mention the skills you have, and always remember not to bombard the skills section with more number of skills. Always try to put those skills which you are confident on. So I have put a few skills of mine, and LinkedIn also has an assessment where it will do a small assessment test to see if you're really knowledgeable on that or not. So if you pass the assessment, the LinkedIn skill assessment badge will also be incorporated with that skill, which will add more credibility to your profile. Also, people can endorse you for that particular skill. So for example, if 2 people have worked together with you, they might endorse you for that skill in your platform. So endorsements will actually improve your reach, and you will be able to get into more people through those endorsements. So try to get more endorsements for the skills you have. You can't ask for it, other people have to give you. And then going down, you have recommendations. You can ask for a recommendation, or you can wait for others to give you a recommendation. In fact, recommendations are actually a good point where which can actually improve the credibility of your profile. So the more number of recommendations you have on your profile, the more genuine it will be. Also, make sure that the recommendation message they are giving is genuine. Don't flood it with some high level English words, because that will definitely not seem to be genuine, because you have to make it more genuine. So even if you use simplest words, that's also fine. And try to get maximum recommendations, and if somebody asks for a recommendation, you can also recommend them. And also, but at the same time, make sure that you both have done something in common. And then is the accomplishment section, where you can actually just mention out your accomplishments, whatever you have received, the organizations you're a part of, any papers you have published, any books you have published, any patents on your name, any projects you have done, the number of languages which you are speaking. So these are the sections which is very much important on LinkedIn. So if you just see, I have filled all these sections, and that is the reason why I've got the All-Star badge. And another another tip I would say is that you can edit your profile and try to make your profile link customized. Because when you look into your profile, you might be having some alphanumeric username at the end of the link. Try to avoid it and try to make it customized, so that you will be able to spell it out even when somebody asks for your profile. and this is actually more readable, and this will actually improve the amount of impression other people would have on your profile. So while following these tips, you will be able to get a good number of reach from people, different people, and you will also be able to impress other people. And slowly and steadily, you will be able to get some good amount of connections. You can build some good bonds with people, and you will also slowly get into a good career as well. So this is basically what I wanted to tell you, and I'll be open for some questions. If you have any questions, please go ask me, and I'll be happy to answer that.
Sir, there's a question. Is it okay to make our account public?
Um, okay to make our account public. Which account? LinkedIn account? Okay, so LinkedIn account is by default public. You don't really have to make it public again, but you can actually change your visibility settings on settings option on your LinkedIn profile. Always try to make it public so that more people will see if you visit their profile. So if you just look into LinkedIn, if you just visit somebody's profile, they will be able to see that this particular person has viewed your profile, and they might there is a good chance that they will also visit your profile. So that actually improves your reach, and you can use LinkedIn as a fully public platform. Any other questions? Okay, so it's not about making projects on LinkedIn. It's about demonstrating your project on LinkedIn of what you have done. So if you have made a project, a certain project, then for example, I'm taking the case of a software project. If you made a software, then you would possibly add it to your GitHub repository, and then you can come up with a post that you have made this project with maybe either by yourself or maybe with some other team members, and mention what you have done on that particular project. So if you have developed the front end, then mention that you have developed the front end of that application, and mention the tech stack. For example, if you are using React and Angular, React and Node.js, then mention that, and also mention what the outcome of the project is, to maybe either by what you are doing with that particular project. And in the end, you also mention the link to the GitHub repository so that other people can also view the code if you want to contribute towards open source, or if you have it posted on any platform, you can also share the link to that working application. So this will actually be very much helpful for them to identify your application, and that will actually improve your credibility on the platform, and your skills will be evaluated there. Hope I have answered your question. Any more questions?
So what is the main difference between follow and connection?
Okay, so follow and connection. If you're following somebody, then you will get updates from them. If you're connected with that person, you will be automatically a follower, but at the same time you will also be able to communicate with that person through messages. If and followers, not every followers will be able to message to a particular person. So if I have 2 followers and they want to communicate with me, and if my message section is restricted, they won't be able to message me, but my connections will be able to message me. But at the same time, if I have opened my message restriction, my followers and my connection requests will be able to message me and have a communication. But it's better, mostly many people have a huge number of connections, and LinkedIn actually has 30,000 as the connection limit request. So rather than sending 30,000 connections, rather than making those amount of connections, try to make your existing connections more fruitful. So whoever you are connecting with, make sure that their profile is genuine and you build a good relation with them. You don't really have to accept any request from a person who has not filled much of their LinkedIn profiles. So if you just if that profile seems to be vague, or if you don't find it more genuine, then you don't really have to accept that request just because you can make a connection. There is no use in that. Or if you want to just instead of messaging, if you want to just follow up with them, you can be a follower, and this is actually the main difference between them.
What is a creator mode? Creator mode.
You mean the LinkedIn creator mode?
Yes, sir.
So LinkedIn creator mode is actually allowing you to improve your to boost your profile. So on creator mode, you will be able to just do some extra works. For example, like maybe let's say LinkedIn Live. So something good feature like LinkedIn Live will be available, and in fact, you will also be able to like what to say. You can actually build yourself as a brand, and you can improve your brand. You can market yourself, and basically that is what LinkedIn is all about: branding yourself, marketing yourself. You are presenting yourself as a product. You are selling yourself to the online market, and what you're selling is you're selling yourself with your skills and with your vision and with what you can do. So this should convince the person who is buying that product, which means the people who are recruiting us. So we should be able to uh, build a brand, and LinkedIn Creator is the best option to improve your growth and to build a brand for yourself. So it got it. So this maybe I can say that it's not based on what you should do. Like you don't have to go follow some certain things. LinkedIn should be a profile that tells about you. Whatever you do professionally, add it on LinkedIn. You don't have to become a software engineer just because you added your experience as a software engineer. If you are interested in product manager, be a product manager and add it on LinkedIn. It's not really mandatory to just add some certain things on your profile. Rather, you try to be yourself, try to be more genuine, do what you love to do, and add those things on LinkedIn so that you can establish your brand. There is no preference for a certain kind of brand. For example, if you're a software engineer, there is no demand for a software engineer. For every software engineer, a good demand comes only for a good software engineer. So if you're a software engineer, just see and recollect or just realize yourself that either you are a good software engineer or a normal software engineer. That's the only difference. So you just do what you love to do, and you just add it on LinkedIn and it will follow you.
What is your advice to the students who haven't started LinkedIn yet?
Okay, my first thing what I would tell them is you are very late. Start now. So everything doesn't like time doesn't wait for anyone. You are already late, because if you just look into LinkedIn, you can see a lot of people even younger than you, even people from schools have LinkedIn accounts, and they have been doing quite well. So when we just see that, we are quite amazed that even those school kids are actually using LinkedIn to their best, and we don't even have a LinkedIn profile. So that actually resonates to the phrase that you are actually late. So just start the account very right now, maybe today, or just don't postpone it to a later time. Just start it as soon as possible, and try to use it actively. Try to engage with people, try to build some connection, make it meaningful, engage with people, interact with their post, make your post, try to grow yourself as a brand, improve your skill sets, and identify opportunities. That's what I would say. Okay. So ഈ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അത് ആരാണോ ആ പ്രൊഫൈൽ ഓണർ ആ ആളുടെ ഇഷ്ടമാണ്. അതായത് ഇഫ് ദേ വാണ്ട് ടു കണക്ട് വിത്ത് പീപ്പിൾ ഹു ആർ ഓൺ ദ സെയിം ഡൊമൈൻ, accept it. If you don't want it, decline it. It's as simple as that. And if you want to expand your field of knowledge, try to accept it. It's totally up to the person on whether you want to accept it or not.
If cloud engineer needs to know coding, I'm mechanical engineer. I like to learn. Please tell what I can do, sir. I don't have any knowledge on coding.
Okay, so cloud is actually a mix of different things. So if you just see, it's a mix of infrastructure. It includes data as in data operations, like data mining, data warehousing, data pre-processing, and all those stuffs, data analytics. And another thing is cloud operations, where you are doing all those system-based operations like Linux and Bash administration. So that is another field, and then that follows DevOps. And another thing is cloud data engineer, and also you have cloud architect, you have cloud engineer, and you also have cloud developer, where you actually work as a developer. So there are uh, domain different fields inside the cloud domain which you can actually choose. So if you are trying to become a cloud engineer, you should more be focusing on cloud operations. So while you're moving into becoming a cloud operations engineer, you don't really need a coding skill. But if you have a coding skill, that is good. But it will be advisable to have scripting experience on Python, and you also need to have a good amount of knowledge on any of the cloud platform for that particular company. So this is the basic requirement which you need. And if you want to have any resources, I have my YouTube channel. I am running tutorials on Google Cloud Platform, and I'll soon be releasing a course on Udemy, which you can purchase it. And most probably by the start of July, I will release the course, and you can actually purchase it to learn a good knowledge about Google Cloud Platform. And while you are learning about Google Cloud Platform, make sure you're learning it very well. And my course actually ensures that. And I'll soon release it, and I'll try to let you know. And also, while you are trying to get some resources, also connect with people on LinkedIn who are working in the cloud domain and try to have some good conversations with them and see what they tell you, and try to look up to it. And in fact, I have been personally mentoring a few people to get into cloud. So if anybody is interested to get into cloud, you can contact me. You can reach me on my LinkedIn, and you can also visit my YouTube channels, and I'll be happy to guide you as well. Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward question. The answer also lies in the question. Create contents, create interesting contents. Try to make people engage with the content which you are making. So whatever you are creating, make it meaningful, make it professional, add a professional touch to it, and try to keep the person. If you are giving a some kind of a long post, then try to just keep the reader there. If you're telling a story, try to keep the reader anxious so that he reads the entire post. So if you're a content creator, try to make it more attractive and interactive for people who are visiting. That's the best tip. No, it's a direct answer. No, LinkedIn is for everyone. So if you just visit LinkedIn, you can see there are stand-up comedians, there are YouTubers, there are technical IT field experts, IT leaders, students, school kids, and we also have people from management background. You have mechanical engineers, you have engineers, you have doctors, you have people from the finance industry. LinkedIn is for every professional, and you will be treated as a professional on LinkedIn.
How can a good LinkedIn profile will benefit for a government jobs or other than private sector?
Okay, so I don't think this is actually in line with the topic, but I'll try to give you my answer. So while you're using LinkedIn, you can actually keep a neat profile, but at the same time, a government job doesn't actually consider LinkedIn. LinkedIn is basically for the what to say, the corporate industries and not government. It's for basically for non-government organizations, but still there are government employees like IAS, IPS officers who have LinkedIn profiles. There are certain politicians who have LinkedIn profiles. Anybody who's a professional, everything, even politics is a profession, and any government job is also a profession. You can have a LinkedIn profile, but I'm not sure on how much it would be effective to be a part of LinkedIn. Can you repeat that? Okay. So one thing is, you always have to be alert, because fraudsters can also be on LinkedIn and they can even ask you for money. Never fall into such traps. What you have to do is, if some company is actually hiring, then make sure that you visit the company's website and see if they are really hiring or not. Try to find some connections or try to find some people on that company and ask if that particular person is associated with that company, and then try to check their genuinity. And later, try to communicate further with them so that you won't be a victim of any kind of fraudster attempt.
Is there anything to keep in mind while setting up the LinkedIn profile?
So as I mentioned earlier, the guidelines to have a good profile picture, to make the cover background so contrasting, to make your profile much more attractive and eye-catching, and also try to fill out all the sections provided by LinkedIn. Try to fill out each and every section so that your profile looks full, and try to obtain the all-star badge. Also try to make some good connections, and while you send connection requests, make sure you are sending personalized invitations, and always try to always try to stay as a professional on LinkedIn platform.
What kind of certificates should we post in our profile? Like, can we post all our web participation certificates and all?
Okay, so this is quite. Seen a lot of people just bombarding the certification section with some random certificates. If you just ask me, I would only say that add those certificates which add value to your skill. For example, I have a lot of certifications. I have more than 200 certificates, including my course certificates, but you can only see 6 of them in my profile. So this is why I have discarded all the other certificates, because I found it to be irrelevant and useless. It is actually just a paper representation or a soft representation of what you have done, but actually it doesn't demonstrate that you have done that certain thing. But at the same time, if you are posting a certificate which is issued by the industry, for example, if you look at cloud certifications, cloud certifications are provided by AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, Aviatrix, and a few companies provide it. And there are project management certifications like Six Sigma, Yellow Belt, Green Belt, and also Scrum Master, Scrum Lead, Scrum Product Owner. There are a lot of certifications provided by the industry. So if you have any of those certifications, add that. Or if you have some kind of participation certificates, they are not really much worth it. Even though you add it, people are not going to pay much attention. And course certificates are also the same. They are not going to pay much attention. Rather than adding those course certificates, try to build a project with the knowledge you have gained through those courses.
Feedback form has been put it up in the chat box. I request all the participants to please fill it up. Certificates will be provided for the participants who fill that feedback form. For YouTube participants, you can see the feedback form in the description. Okay.
Thank you.
Now I invite
have posted.
Now I invite Afrina to deliver the vote of thanks.
I, on behalf of my colleagues and the entire community, first of all, spread my most sincere thanks to the Lord God. I want to thank the chief guest, Mr. Udesh Uday Kumar, who gave his vital time from his busy schedule to grace this meeting. The session was very informative. He gave deep insights into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. It is to be highlighted that we had an esteemed presence of over 300 plus participants for this event. So I would like to place my hearty thanks to all the participants because of we made this meeting a great success. We are fortunate to thank the dedicated and well-motivated team of ICI GECB and ISTE GECB who are aware of their task and have been the strength of this webinar. We thank you for being with us. It has remained a pronounced pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's